Hello everybody, it's Eric Klopper here again, making another update video leading up to the premiere of my play at Harvard University titled Sex and Circumcision, an American Love Story. Now, I'm making this video because I've been reprimanded by my publicist. He has told me that my videos come off as strident and egotistical. Now naturally, I said, me, that's impossible. But he challenged me. He said, you need to make a humble video. So here goes, starting now. So, I've mentioned this before, but I was invited to give a lecture on this topic at Cornell during their Sexual Health Week, and it was received very well. It was received well. And what I learned from that was the penis jokes. The students loved the penis jokes. They ate them up. And I took note of that, and I turned that lecture, and it was a me-style lecture, so it was by no means dry. Just going back to humble though. But I put the penis jokes on the most outrageous form of steroids for decades. And the reason why I think this play is so important is, it's about sex and circumcision. So there's the narrative, the storytelling is weaved into a narrative. This is an actual play, and it is really funny and clever. I know that's not humble, but it's objectively true, and you'll see. And I actually have a friend who said you come off as Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde when you're promoting these. And the reason is, I know what's in the play. I know what I've prepared for you, and it warrants that level of enthusiasm. But going back to humble now, but it is about sex and circumcision, whether or not it has an effect, and what it is. And we talk a lot about sex in this culture and in life, and that's because we're programmed to reproduce. I mean, some people say that is the reason why we're here, why life exists, is to continue to reproduce itself, and through sex is the mechanism in which we do that. But the reason that I had invested so much time and energy into making this play, doing all the work leading up to it and whatnot, is because obviously sex is a big part of life. And what I realized when I graduated college was, bear with me, I'm trying to be humble, but I was a physicist, and I made some minor contributions in thermodynamics and quantum tunneling, and I was decent at it. And yet I realized what a fundamental part of life this was, and how I knew nothing about it. I knew nothing about sex. I've had sex, in various places, people, whatnot. Not gratuitous by any means. But I didn't know certainly what I know now, which certainly colors how I view sex in this culture and whatnot. But when I started reading books about this, when I read my first book, I was like, whoa, nobody knows any of this, and it's incredibly important and relevant to everybody. So I just kept reading, and after years, and half a decade goes by, and I realized, whoa, I understand what's going on. My explanations, this is not humble, but you need to know, you really do. I will tell you my own personal story. I will go into, weaved within the narrative of the play. It's really something that you need to see. It's something that I'm not super thrilled of doing, but since I'm gonna do it, I'm going to put everything I have into it, and I think that you will. I think that you'll appreciate the effort. I hope. I've given other talks, and some people have said, I've seen your stuff on YouTube and Stem Cell Summit, other universities or conferences, and it's really good. This is not humble, but that was nothing. It really was nothing. This is what I have to offer, and it will be, I'm just gonna do it. It will be the greatest Tuesday night ever. But yeah, it's important, and it's important to me if you know me, if you respect at least who I am or what I stand for, at least in some way. I would really appreciate if you took the Tuesday night. It's $7. It comes with parking. It's cheaper than parking. If you need to park at Harvard Square, just buy a ticket. But and it all goes to the Jimmy Fund. I didn't do this for money. I have people who are willing to fund this project because they believe it's important as well. And I think that you will. I mean, I've designed it so it's impossible to ignore. But I think that if you go, you'll say, "Wow, like this is something that had to be done," and you know, it was well done. And I totally veered off humility. I'm doing my best, but I'm not gonna lie to you either. But anyways, that was my update video. I'm going to try to be more human moving forward. And thank you for your time. I won't disappoint you. This is gonna be one hell of an event. All right, thank you guys.